Kolkata Knight Riders joined the Chennai Super Kings of the first two teams to get to 2 wins in IPL 2019. That after they've managed to keep the Kings 11 Punjab to just 190 for 4. They set them a formidable, record-breaking, record-setting 218, the highest score at the Eden Gardens in the IPL. They managed to get a top score from Robin Uthappa, but the difference in the two sides is not the 28 runs, but the innings of Andre Russell, 48 of 17. Andre Russell has started this IPL in some serious style. We'll all remember that incident. He could have been out 3 or 5 balls had R. Ashwin, Mohammad Shami and the Kings 11 just managed to count the number of fielders inside the 30-yard circle. What happened after? 25 and 22 of the next 2 overs, and Andre Russell ends up scoring 45 of 12 balls. Well, you can't point out a more direct, impactful moment in that game. On ESPNcricinfo Match Day T20, Deep and Brad still here with me. That's still a decent chase if you look back at it. They got 190 deep and they would have been telling themselves they should not have been chasing more than 190.
True. So, there are positives out of this as well as far as batting is concerned. David Miller comes back, very first game, scores runs, looks really good batting. And secondly, in a game where you're chasing 290, you don't want to lose by a huge margin because, listen, it's just this beginning, but sooner or later, the net run rate might come into the picture. And in that case, in these big scoring games, there's a good chance that you lose by 50, 60 runs and then your net run rate goes down. At least they've managed to keep that net run rate, hasn't really harmed the net run rate.
I really like what you said as we went into our halftime show, Haji. One of the toughest things in 2020 cricket is sort of coming back from a momentum shift. And clearly, Kings 11 went into that dugout, quick turnaround, telling themselves we shouldn't have been chasing more than 180. And then after that, everything, the way they approach KL Rahul's early wicket, that's pretty much in the game.
Yeah, look, I thought they played particularly well. Batting group will take a good solace out of that, knowing that they can get the job done. The universal boss didn't fire, KL Rahul didn't fire. So, I think their middle order played particularly well. I didn't think the KKR bowlers were at their best tonight, apart from a few, but... It's such a tough ground to defend, the Eden Gardens, especially with a bit of dew. So I think it's a big win for KKR, but a lot of positives for the Kings 11 there.
Yeah, half century for Mayank Agarwal too, so good batting response. But they probably just missed that firepower, not even firepower, but firepower into 10 that Andre Russell tends to provide. Let's go to our match day match points and the all-round show for Kolkata. Let's have a look at just how their batting all came together. And this is something we've seen, Deep, from KKR in seasons, that they tend to have everyone contributing. Even a Sunil Narayan, 24 of 9, sets them off. You had half centuries from Uthappa and Nitish Rana. And then Andre Russell just does what he does. So KKR looking a well-oiled unit again with the bat.
Absolutely. That's what happens when you have the same team over a period of time. Everyone is aware of their role in the side, what is expected of them. And you can see that. You can see when you look at these teams which have kept their nucleus together for a while, or the basic team for a while, you see them play like that. Even on poor days, you'll have somebody doing the job.
Yeah, and Nitish Rana starting this IPL well. He started IPLs well before, but where you know that Robin Uthappa is still the kind of player who takes a little time. It's important for someone after him to make sure that KKR don't get guilty of what some other teams do, that's get accumulatory in the middle.
Yeah, well, it was a tricky little partnership that Uthappa and Nitish Rana put together because, they just lost Lynn, they lost Narayan sort of back-to-back. So, around that 2 for 30 mark with a couple of overs to go in the power play, I thought it was particularly well constructed. And Rana in particular because he's brought on that form from last game. He's adapted back to batting at number 4, so his flexibility is important. He's a left-handed variety. And he actually took the attack up to the spinners, so that's really important.
Yeah, and he went at about 185. He got 63 of 34. That was very important. If Robin Uthappa, if that's the way he plays, he needs somebody like Nitish Rana to kind of make sure, and especially batting first at Eden Gardens. The pass score is 170-75, but you need to score at least 20 more than pass score. So from that perspective, that Nitish Rana innings was very, very important.
You compare these two batting sides, and we said we still have doubts on the depth of Punjab's batting. Conversely, on the other side, you look at KKR and Dinesh Karthik's played 1 ball and Shubman Gill's not even had a bat.
Yeah.
This is looking like a pretty formidable batting unit going forward.
Yeah, and that's one of the best up-and-coming youngsters that hasn't even touched the willow out in the middle. So, look, there's some promising signs there for the KKR unit as well. Chris Lynn hasn't even fired a shot yet. Sunderland Orion, that's his first at-bat with the quick fire 20. So, yeah, they've got that continuity, isn't it? It's just a well-balanced oiled machine. Sure. So, yeah, it's got some upside.
Looking good then for Dinesh Karthik and KKR, and they've started with 2 out of 2, albeit 2 home games, but things looking pretty good for Kolkata Knight Riders. On the other hand, Kings 11 Punjab, after picking up 2 points against Rajasthan, would like to add another 2 to that. Imagine 4 points on the road to start the IPL. That would have been a great start for R. Ashwin in whatever fashion. He would have taken those points however they would have come. But were they off with team tactics? And let's get into selection now. It's not only in hindsight, Deep. Sometimes hindsight makes the game so much easier. But you said at the top, and now looking at the way the game's panned out, Mujibur Rahman's miss seems apparent here.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. I mean, I still find it baffling that you pick up someone else apart. I mean, Mujib, if he's there in the squad, you play him. I mean, irrespective of the conditions, I don't care if it's a green top or whatever, you play Mujibur Rahman. And that was baffling. I don't mind. I mean, David Miller, obviously, he comes in straight away. Willian also, I can understand the pace and the bounce of the pitch. You want somebody to bowl at 140 plus. But irrespective, Mujib should have been there.
And there are many days you can give a young off-spinner, unknown element, mystery spinner game. But at Kolkata, we know the sort of pitch, ground, the vibe with so many people against the Knight Riders early on. Andre Russell, the batting. Was this a calculated error from Ashwin?
Look, you go with the gut feel sometimes as well. So, I mean, this guy's $1 million player, so he can't be crabby. He must be pretty good. But he's up against the Sunderland Orion, whose job is to actually go in there and nullify the spin early, because we know Chris Lynn doesn't particularly like it. So, in that form of tactic, I think that Mujib would have been better to counteract those 2 power hitters. I mean, they are power hitters, so for me, just that experience. Mujib's used to bowling 2 or 3 overs in the power play. This young kid, I'm not sure whether he's even done it before in Tamil Nadu.
And the thing with Mujib is, you can actually keep him back if you're thinking of Andre Russell and his strike rate against spin or whatever. You can actually keep a couple of overs for him to bowl to someone like Andre Russell.
What about instead trying Ashwin against Narayan instead of Varun Chakravarti? Just a little more experience. Ashwin is bowled in the power play.
But if you're playing someone like him, which obviously is your X factor, your mystery spinner, you want to put him up in front. The first over is traditionally first couple of overs are kind of are cheaper ones. You get away with not giving away too many runs in the first couple. So I think tactically, I don't think that was the wrong move.
And to give the kid credit, he bowled a 3rd over. I didn't think he would get one, but I think Mandeep Singh gave him confidence to bowl an over.
Yeah.
And he bowled that 3rd over and he actually bowled a decent over. The key to being a mystery spinner for you, what's the one thing you tell the kid or a mystery spin on his IPL debut, what does he need to get right?
What would I say? I'd just say don't leave the stumps.
Yes.
If you turn the ball that much either side of the stumps, then you're dangerous. If that element is lost and you're bowling outside the line of the stumps, then there's no mystery. It's short and wide. So, look, he was off his game today. That's okay. I'd like to see him get another opportunity somewhere. He's clearly got some talent, but just the guys that were left out, Ankit Rajput as well. So, what's that do to his confidence? We'll just have to wait and see.
Very well. Now, what about the difference between the 2 sides? And we're going to come to that actually in a minute. Let's take that in match point number 4, where we're going to discuss Mayank and Miller's efforts, but just that it was so much that was just a little too much, and only Andre Russell could have been the difference. But what about Kolkata's bowling plans? Let's be fair, this Eden Gardens pitch, teams will back themselves to get 200. If you were to pick a surface, it wouldn't be far off on the top few on chasing 200 odd. But they started well against Chris Gale, didn't they, Oji? He still got 20, but they chose the quicks and the sort of lengths that they were bowling. They had their plans in order.
Yeah, they did, and they picked the extra ball speed as well. And even in the first over, the ball was up here, and Chris Gale put a couple, one went for 6 over 3rd man, another one carried all the way to the fence. So, it was a clear tactic, and I think it was a good tactic to hit the wicket hard. He loves it in his space. So once you put it in his space, it's going to disappear. So anything sort of up here is probably the only place you're going to trouble, the universal boss. And I thought, cramping KL Rahul was a good tactic as well.
I was coming to that as well. Even KL Rahul's wicket, they've sort of gone on that sort of hardish length, and they want the ball coming into, because you know how free-flowing Rahul can be. So everything seems very well planned.
Very disciplined.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to plan and then the other to execute it.
Sure.
I thought they were very disciplined in executing those plans as well. And again, on a surface like this, which has pace and bounce, you get away bowling those hard lengths. I mean, on a surface like this, you want your quick bowlers who are actually quick to bowl those hard lengths, and they were disciplined enough to do it.
And they kept back Piyush Chawla as well. They used a good amount of spin against David Miller. So they've got all the goods. What's the difference in their spinners doing as well at the Eden Gardens, even though it may not be as helpful, versus other spinners just going the distance?
Maybe just experience of the ground as well, and
Yeah.
the captain using him when he feels comfortable. I mean, Sunil Narayan went 2 overs for 26. That's rare. I mean, that's an average game for Sunil. So
Well, he gets 24 of 9 with the bat, and he goes for 26 or 12 at the ball.
Well, that's what he's
Cancels out.
become. He's become such an important all-rounder.
But doesn't help my points.
Yeah, don't get greedy. But you think at some point Sunil Narayan will come good. And the fact that in 2 games he's not come good, and KKR have still had enough resources.
Yeah, there's
again.
no doubt. I mean, this might have been a good matchup for him. You never know. This might have just been one of those games.
Okay, let's go on to Mayank Agarwal and David Miller's efforts. So at least there'd be some solace, as Haji says, that taking from this game, this could easily have been a very lopsided game. After Gale and Rahul were out, we could have been standing out in one of those one-sided T20s. Didn't quite happen, even though they were always behind the 8 ball. And that's essentially because the difference was Andre Russell. We'll talk about Mayank and Miller in a bit, but let's just show you with our representation and graphics what happened overs 15 to 17. And it was that 17th over where Andre Russell should have been dismissed. And that's what happened. You had 17 runs in those overs. And then 18 to 20, the last over from Andrew Tye went for 8. So you're looking at 2 overs of 47 runs, essentially of the bat, of Andre Russell. I mean, you don't recover from that, I guess, Haji.
Well, you're mentally gone as well,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, the problem is that it was such an outstanding over in execution from Mahmoud Shami. And then just to have your heart and soul ripped out, to be told that it's a no ball, 3 men outside the circle.
Yeah.
I mean,
not even a no ball for your own fault.
No,
you know,
just a critical team error, and then to watch the next few disappear all over Eden Gardens, that's a heartbreaker.
And in fact, if I just go back to the chase for Punjab, and there's a point, I think they were about 60 of the last 3 or something like that, or maybe a little more than that. And we thought if we turn this around and we think of Andre Russell in your dugout, and
Still in with
63,
a
you're almost
chance.
favouring the batting side.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were
that's the
67
point,
of
isn't it?
18.
Yeah.
67
Well,
of 18.
we knew that 180, 190 was easily gettable target chasing at the Eden Gardens. So, I mean, fortunate for KKR that incident happened, because they were probably actually 20 short at that time.
Definitely yes. Definitely yes. I mean, the difference between 190 and 219 was that no ball there.
Yeah, I mean, they needed 95 of the last 6 and 86 of 30. 96 of 30 is tough, but Andre Russell getting half of that in 2 overs, so he's going to do the rest in singles. So, I mean, that's just the sort of impact, and everybody does not have him. So, just quick takeaway as I wind up the Kings 11 chat. Do you potentially see them looking at middle order reinforcement again, or is it just about getting the right combination of bowlers? What's the biggest lesson after 2 games of the Kings 11 field?
Yeah, for them, just a settled unit. Now that David Miller's in there and he's come with a good performance,
Sure.
It looks like that top 6 is good. There's a bit of worry that if they do get into some early trouble, Ashwin at 7's a little bit of a concern, but with everyone in good form, they're in good shape. But I think that the Mujib factor needs to be looked at, and once they get that right, they'll be fine.
You must be pleased with Mayank too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, obviously he's been brilliant in domestic cricket last 2 years, international cricket last series. But IPL, he hasn't been that effective, but good to see him amongst runs in this game. And with Kings 11, the only issue is they don't have genuine all-rounders in their squad.
Yeah.
So they'll always have like 5 bowlers who are genuine bowlers, and apart from Ashwin, not too many of them can actually bat, apart from Sam Curran, who for me is more of a batsman who can bowl.
Yeah.
So that will always be an issue with them right through this tournament. But I think they should have some kind of an idea what the ideal 11 should be after 2 games.
Okay, we're going to have Moses Enriquez back after he's done with the Shield final. If he pushes either a Hardisvillian or somebody else for a slot, that's one point of contention. Then how do you put in Mujibur Rahman in that team with David Miller getting runs now, and Andrew Tye as a key cock for their chances. So they'll have to figure all this out for their next game, but they've given us no shortage of talking points. In 2 games have the Kings 11 Punjab. Let's go to our Fab 4, shall we, and have a look at how Haji and Deep Das Gupta have done today. Let's take Brad Hodges' points first. Chris Gayle gets him 20. Andre Russell gets him a lot of points. Nitish Rana gets him points. Chris Lynn. So, 231 points. You did well to be convinced to pick someone else.
Yeah.
And picking Nitish Rana there.
That should happen more often. I mean, my Fab 4 across the whole summer has been pretty average at best, I would have thought.
Yeah, you're paying more attention now that you're here. I don't know what you were doing at 3 in the morning over there while doing the ODIs with us from Australia. What about Deep Dasgupta?
Not good.
Not good, Deep. Let's see what the difference is. Oh, Lord, you saw walloping. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah.
Kuldeep, Sunil Narayan, KL Rahul, all getting some bronze spoons today.
Yeah.
And that's where you are, 65 points. But at least you won the quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I keep reminding you of the good things. Before we leave you, given that we're talking about good spirits and, making sure you play in the right game and all, Ravi Ashwin's feeling absolutely no need to keep a low profile after what's happened in Jaipur, having a go at the fourth umpire, saying, let's get 4 overthrows from that. Is this the kind of thing that's in some way going to affect the conversation of this team, and will it impact any individuals and their mindset going forward?
Look, I think that Mark Hess and the team management might just have to say, listen, let's just concentrate on the cricket.
Yeah.
I know we're all passionate and it's in the heat of the moment, but just concentrate on leading the job. I mean, it's a heated moment.
Distracting.
You're in the moment. You want to win for your franchise and your team, and he's trying to strive hard. But probably just concentrate on the things which you can control.
Apparently, I don't know if it's not confirmed yet that we're hearing from our reporters on the ground that it was either Ashwin or even Ryan Harris who was having a chat with the fourth umpire, and it was at their behest that the word was communicated to the on-field umpires, and they were convinced that the ball was still in play. Like we said in our 10-over chat.
Decision anyway.
Yeah, that was what we said in our 10-over chat, and Gaurav said it. It's up to the umpires, and they got that wrong. Fair enough?
Absolutely, they got it wrong. I mean, as a team management, you can always go and kind of speak to the fourth official, but end of the day, it's the umpire's call. And I'm sure Haji will also agree with that. I mean, it was a poor call. That was a dead ball.
I'm not sure how 4 officials actually can't get that right.
Yeah.
There's 4 brains there to work that out. Clearly there's no intention of running.
Yeah.
The field was dead.
Yeah.
And then you're just throwing the ball back to the player
Yeah.
who's shining the ball, but it gets stuck in the lights. He can't see it.
We see that so often, and 9 out of 10 times we expect them to get it right. But just one of those things. It gives us another talking point for Kings 11 Punjab. So maybe they're doing this all for our amusement. Thank you very much to Deep Dasgupta and Brad Hodge. Give you a few hours rest and be back for the Bangalore-Mumbai game. We hope to have your company for that. 7:30 p.m. for ESPNcricinfo match day. Before that, 6 p.m. IST for Face Off the quiz. While Deep is so excited now that he's won a quiz today, and Hodge doesn't care. He's going to win some. He's going to lose some. He's going to eat what's in the hamper anyway. So we'll be back for your company then, hopefully, as we build up to another important game, Bangalore-Mumbai, Kohli versus Rohit. Both teams having lost their first. It's at the Chinnaswamy. Should be a cracking game to talk about. Do join us for that on ESPNcricinfo Match Day T20.